It took many years of endless seminars, lots of certifications, and deflating my ego to learn that nobody cares what technique or treatment I use to fix the problem, or even how I went about fixing it. They just cared that I could fix it. In this episode, I share my journey in thinking I needed to market and sell myself under a certain brand and technique to be better recognized. But what set me apart was focusing on being my own unique brand that fixed injuries other providers couldn't. It took a lot of wasted time and money, always chasing the new technique out there to stay ahead of the game, constantly looking for external validations that I was better than others around me because I had more name brand certifications, only to realize it was all about the results and solving the problem to the best of my ability. The goal of this episode is to help you learn from my own mistakes. And in this episode, I share the power I got when I finally focused on being my own brand. I hope you enjoy the show. Welcome back to the Soft Tissue Treatment Revolution podcast, where we teach self-employed and overworked massage therapists a better treatment system that will allow you to cut your treatment times by at least 50% so you can stay healthy, avoid the dreaded burnout, and help more people get out of pain. If you're new to the show and you don't know who I am, my name is Dr. Matt Maggio. I am a soft tissue injury treatment expert, specifically for neck, shoulder, elbow, and wrist pain. My focus is on finding and fixing scar tissue and reducing inflammation from chronic injuries without the use of drugs, injections, or surgeries, which does lead to a significant increase in overall functioning and long-lasting pain relief. Thanks so much for stopping by and checking out the show. Let's get right into it. Be your own brand. Quit trying to be someone else's brand. So my story on all this, I've shared this a lot on the podcast. Back in chiro school, those of you that don't know, I talk about soft tissue treatment and only soft tissue treatment. I actually got a doctorate in chiropractic, realized halfway through school that the adjustments weren't doing anything, and in some situations just made the problem worse. Got really into soft tissue treatment and understanding that it was important and I needed to learn all that. I took a bunch of courses when I was still in school, did all the things I needed to do to pass my boards and get my doctorate in chiropractic. So I still have the doctorate. I just don't practice adjustments. I don't think they do much of anything. I get a lot of hate mail from the chiropractors a lot about how I don't believe in the healing powers of chiropractic, but I don't really deal with those people because they suck at soft tissue work, and I don't want to listen to them tell me how the adjustment is better than the soft tissue work, because the soft tissue work is what holds it, makes it better, and is more effective. Hence the name of the podcast, the Soft Tissue Treatment Revolution. So when I was in school, I took every ART course. ART is active release technique possible. I think I went to 7 courses in less than 2 years. I was just hooked on it. I'm going to be an ART guru and a master. I even went to what's called the master certified course before I even left school. And I knew it. I knew it in my heart. I knew I was going to get out of school, and I knew I was going to crush it. I was going to be so fucking good in practice. Hell, I was using what ART calls the gold standard of soft tissue treatment. I was the best of the best. People were going to be banging down my door to come in and get this advanced, amazing treatment. They even told me when I was getting ready to get done with school that if I got into the ART directory, I would get so many clients that I wouldn't even need to market. They were just looking up ART providers all over the world. I mean, it is the gold standard of soft tissue treatment, right? So fast forward 6 months, I'm out in practice and I got 0 referrals. I was doing a shit ton of work using the ART protocols, and I was never really knowing exactly what was working and what wasn't working. I talk about this all the time. So many people out there teach a technique, but they don't teach a true system. And ART is one of those as well. They're like, oh, here's all these protocols to do and go and get it. Sometimes I'd get results, sometimes I didn't, but I never had consistent results. I never knew what was really working. I knew I was working really fucking hard, spending 30, 40 minutes busting my ass doing those protocols. So I did what most of us do. I figured I just needed to keep going to more courses and I needed to get better. And then I rinsed and repeated that for a year, and I still wasn't where I needed to be. Here's the thing. I was marketing myself as an ART provider. I was talking about how amazing it was and how I was better than anyone else out there. Yeah, that's what they told me. Fucking gold standard of soft tissue treatment. The thing was, though, I wasn't that good yet. Still fresh out of school. I hadn't figured out much of anything. And I thought I was just going to coast on the coattails of the ART brand. Marketing in your business and your practice is super important, especially when you first get into practice. It creates awareness that you even exist. There's a lot of people out there that don't know you. And a mentor once taught me, if they don't know me, they can't flow me. The problem though I was making with my marketing was I was making it all about me, that I was a self-proclaimed master and so great, which really went on to deaf ears of my potential clients. The goal of marketing is to help the client know that you understand what problem they have, that you have a good track record of fixing the problem, and most importantly, that you have the skill set to fix it. Here's harsh reality that I had to learn for myself, and hopefully it can help you too. Nobody, besides myself, gives a shit about what certifications I had or how I did the treatment. They just wanted to know that I could fix their problem. And when I wasn't as confident in my skills, mostly because I hadn't dedicated enough time and patience to mastering them, I wanted to project my own ego and brag about how many certifications and trainings I had. Something like people out there, I'm a 10th level Jedi master or some bullshit self-proclaimed guru. Honestly, I can't fucking stand when I see people say that, like I'm a master or I'm a guru or like that. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. Like, I don't have time for that shit, and you're just full of shit and your ego is pumping. But I've done that as well. I called myself a master of ART. The other thing we do is we market ourselves as doing one particular modality or one special type of treatment, which ends up just pigeonholing us. That's a weird word, pigeonholing us. And we get rigid in our assessments and how we manage each client uniquely and specifically. Instead, we just become a technique zombie. That's a lot of what ART was. Like, oh, it hurts here, do these protocols. Hurts here, do this. Rinse, repeat. And sometimes you get results, sometimes you don't. And then even worse is I started marketing, and people do this, you market for that said technique and you put it all over the website and profile and convince ourselves that people actually care about that. But the only one that cares is our ego trying to protect our deep-rooted inadequacies because we're not solving problems and we haven't put the time in. I remember when I used to introduce myself as an active release master certified provider. Yeah, sounds pretty fancy. Active release certified master's provider. When I would talk to clients, and even saying that out loud makes me sound like a pompous prick. And here's the honest truth. I kind of was. The best measure to see if you're doing good work is how many of your clients refer to you. If that number is small or non-existent, then the focus needs to be on getting results and solving problems, which unfortunately isn't being taught out there. Everyone, I'd say 99.5% of courses and training out there is teaching you how to do a technique and how to apply it, instead of starting by figuring out what is wrong and what the correct treatment to fix the issue right in front of you is. So what is my brand now? Just like I say in the introduction, it's all about being a problem solver that uses the best tools to fix the problem better and quicker than anyone else around me. So it's been 14 years since I learned from this horrible mistake. And here's what I did. The first thing I did was I focused on solving a particular problem, like be a neck, shoulder, low back, hip expert in what you do. I even say it. I'm a neck, shoulder, elbow, and wrist expert. That's what I do, and I only fix those type of problems. It narrows down, makes you an expert at the end of the day. Specialists get paid 10 times more than a generalist. Next thing I did was I learned everything I could about that particular area. The body is very complicated. And if you're trying to learn everything, you're basically becoming a jack of all trades, master of none. I dove in, I understood everything going on there. The nerves, the blood vessels, the fascia, the ligaments, the muscles, the tendons, everything. I knew everything for that specific area. Nobody was going to fuck with me on that level because I'm a true expert in that area. And then another thing I started doing was I started developing empathy for people who were dealing with these injuries. And I was able to effectively communicate to them that I knew what was going on and was confident I was going to be able to help. I share this a lot. One of my most popular podcasts of all time is the number one question you need to ask every single client before you ever start treatment. And that question was, how is this problem affecting your quality of life? And really listening and understanding, because when people are in pain, they've been fucked around, they've been screwed over by other providers. They want to know that you care. They want to know that you can help, and really getting into that empathy can really help you as well. Next thing I did was I marketed and sold my ass off as that solution provider. You heard me say it. I fix chronic and unresolved pain without the use of drugs, injections, and surgeries. And this is what I do. And this is what I'm really good at. And then the next thing I did was, when I did help someone out, I didn't hesitate or pussyfoot around asking them directly for referrals. You know, a lot of times you're like, oh, I feel bad bugging somebody. It's like, fuck, if you're really good at what you do, you should be talking about it all the time. And you have a duty and obligation to help people. If you have an amazing problem, you need to sell your fucking ass off and help people get access to your care. And that starts by pushing and encouraging your clients to refer other people in, especially if you help them and they talk about how great you are. You have to take control of that and be like, oh yeah, I have so-and-so call me. No, be active and take control of that and ask for referrals, because you know you can help. You're truly making a difference in their lives. You're not being pushy. You're not being salesy. You have something amazing that you need to share with the world. Another thing I did was I took down all my certifications on my walls. I bet a lot of you have this. I see this a lot on the internet. You know, you got a whole wall of every course that you've taken, you know, basically from the floor to the ceiling. I had it as well. And you know what I did? I took all those certifications down and I replaced them with giant blow-ups of all my client testimonials, blown up right there, right when they see it, right when they walk in. Because remember, it wasn't about me and my fucking ego anymore. It was about them and how I could help them. And they see other people, they get social proof. They're like, man, this person knows what the fuck they're doing. Look at all these referrals, not referrals. Look at all these reviews. They really must be doing something awesome. And then lastly is I became my own brand, and I built a reputation as someone with confidence, skills, and most important, my results, because results rule, period. No one gives a shit about your certifications. Results rule, period. So quit growing someone else's brand and focus on your own. Carve out your own unique niche, your special thing that you do, your niche, and a reputation for that, and see how far it can take you. That's all I got for you guys on this episode. Thing you can do this week is you can go grab our new and revamped free training courses. Those are available directly on our website. You're going to go through, learn how I attack and problem solve something, specifically a neck problem that causes a lot of issues that a lot of people aren't. It's going to equip you with the tools and the knowledge to be able to effectively figure it out, find it, and fix it and apply the correct treatment. That is all free. There's no strings attached there. And as I end every single podcast, go out there and be great this week. The world needs access to your treatment and solutions so people can stay the fuck away from pain pills and surgeries, which only make things worse. I appreciate you guys listening, and I will see you on the next one. Bye. Thanks so much for listening. If you want help on the path to being able to double your income, all while working 50% less and being taken seriously as a healthcare provider, I have some great resources for you. Number one, get access to our free training modules and introduction to my system, the Peak Method. Number two, subscribe to our YouTube channel, The Soft Tissue Revolution. Links to all of this can be found in the show notes. Lastly, if you like the show, please leave us a 5-star review and share it with others that you know it could help.